Welcome to Scout's Eye. I'm Bobby Bell, Dallas Cowboys insider for 105 through the Fan in Dallas, joined as always by former Super Bowl winning NFL scout Bryan Broaddus. Bryan, the Cowboys played their second preseason game last weekend. They fall short to the Seattle Seahawks, but again, as we've talked about, what we're really concerned here with are the individual evaluations that we can get out of these games. This one, it felt like the offensive line play was a little bit better. There were obviously some guys, I think, who continued to struggle, but let's highlight some of the bright spots here. I know one of the guys that you were impressed with played a better game this time around than we've seen from him recently, Josh Ball inside at guard.
Yeah, it's been amazing, Bobby, because I'm one of these guys that's been super critical of Josh Ball. I've thrown a lot of dirt on him as a player. I didn't think he was strong enough. I didn't think it was important enough to him. I mean, there was a lot of things kind of going on. And, he just felt like he never really got better. But something came on for him in that Seattle game. Very early in that game, they were running the football behind him. He was coming off the ball. He was good on combination blocks. He was good on getting the second level. They did a good job of passing some, him and Matt Waletzko passing some twist stunts in the game. Things that you don't normally work on in preseason, they were able to accomplish. So good for Josh Ball of having the type of game where you saw him do those things that that he's capable of. And he was able to finish some blocks and thought he had one of his best games. I know he hadn't played a lot of games for the Cowboys, but by far this was his best one.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him. This is something where we've waited for it to kind of click with him a little bit, and we've been waiting around for a little while, and I think you and I both felt like, look, things haven't been great outside at tackle. I don't know that they're going to get any better inside at guard, but here at guard, he played a good game. The guy I do want to talk about out at tackle, right tackle specifically, Alex Taylor-Priolo. I'm curious what you saw on tape there. I didn't see necessarily a dominant performance, but I saw some flashes that I was encouraged by. Big guy, 6'8", 305 pounds, so he's a big frame. Not a lot of bulk, more of a foot athlete, but a lot of times when you get these big guys, they're kind of all knees and elbows. I think of Dan Skipper, the old Arkansas tackle guard, whenever I think of a player like that. But he looked like he's comfortable in his frame and knows how to move a little bit. I at least saw flashes of a guy that looked like he had some potential to stick.
That's it. I think you nailed it perfectly, Bobby. When you worry about a guy that tall, you worry about him playing with no knee bend. You worry about him just being tall. He is not the strongest guy in the world, but what he does is you kind of see a guy that he is comfortable with his height and his movement within the height. Sometimes these guys that are super tall, they like move in sections, like the body moves, upper body moves, then the legs move. And then, so they're like moving in sections. And in this case with Priolo, he's not that. He's a guy that, much like what we saw with Awesome Richards against Jacksonville, the set, the punch, the ability to stay with your guy. Tall guy, plays with knee bend, able to play with some extension. Man, those limbs are so long. And, it's going to be hard for him to put power and, and mass on because of how long he is. The muscles are long. But, man, he sure held up against a pretty good Seattle front the other night.
Now, one other guy I know we want to highlight here, somebody who is maybe developing a reputation a little bit as a gamer, somebody who, has not shown us a ton in practice, but the college tape looked good, and so far in these preseason games performed better than we saw in the practices, and that's TJ Bass, the undrafted free agent out of Oregon.
Yeah, TJ Bass is a gamer. We've used that word quite a bit now. The practice stuff will not wow you. Kind of a belly-to-belly blocker, likes to get close, likes to get inside with his hands. Plays with a good base, plays with some power. You saw him, Seattle running those twist games, and those guys were passing off stuff. That's something you usually game plan for, but the awareness to see it and to pass it and to finish it, I thought was pretty impressive with him. The fact, he was in a certain weight class when it came to, guys he was playing against. They elevated his weight class. They said, hey, let's play against some ones and see, he got some practice reps working with the ones last week in Oxnard. So it played out pretty well for him, though. Here's a guy that if you put him in the game, it's not going to be pretty, but, man, he's got a lot of experience of playing in some big games here at Oregon. He's played at a pretty nice level as well. So he looks comfortable when you put him in those situations in the game.
You can catch Bryan Broaddus on Twitter at Bryan Broaddus. You can also catch him on the G-Bag Nation, 2 to 7 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday on 105.3 The Fan of Dallas. Bryan, thanks so much, man.
Thank you, Bobby.